Do not adjust your screens, don't read the title again, because yes, I am in fact going to attempt to draft a book. Or at least part of one. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alessandro, and in today's video, I want to take you all along on a writing vlog style journey with me. Basically, over the next 5 days, I'm going to attempt to draft part of a book that I'm working on, and I want to take you all on the behind-the-scenes process of how I write, my thoughts and feelings around writing a book, some of the roadblocks I may encounter along the way, and much, much more. Much like with my other videos, I'm going to spend the next 2 or 3 minutes or so talking about my history and background with writing, how this book idea came up, and other things like that. So if you want to skip ahead, I'll leave the timestamp right here if you want to skip right ahead to the vlog portion of this video. Okay, let's talk a little bit about my history with writing and how this book idea came to be. I would like to preface this part of the video by saying that I am not a professional writer by any means, nor did I study writing in college. In college, I did complete one creative writing course and a general English class, but that's it. I'm someone who wasn't always a strong writer either. I did have some teachers and professors in college and in high school that I was very lucky to have because they pushed me to become a better writer, and I think I improved a lot because of that. But again, other than that, I don't really have any experience working in the professional writing field, or do I have much coursework completed in writing whatsoever. However, back in December of last year, I had an idea for a romance novel, an adult romance novel, and I just started writing it. For now, I'm not going to really share the title or the premise of the book. That's kind of like it's my secret for now. I will hopefully share with you guys one day. But for now, I'm just going to call it Project OCA. I got this idea of abbreviating the title from one of my favorite YouTubers on YouTube named Sarah Labrat, who's really amazing. She's kind of in the AuthorTube space and the writing and like being a self-employed creative side of YouTube. And watching her videos really inspired me to start writing and think about how I can use my creative outlets to make money, how I can follow my own passions as a creative, and even potentially become self-employed as a creative. I know that stuff is very far in the future from now, but it's still something I think about nonetheless. I'll leave her channel linked in the description down below because I think if you are an aspiring writer or someone who's already a writer, watching her videos would be extremely beneficial because she does talk a lot about her drafting and editing process, as well as her experience quitting her full-time job to become a full-time creative. So yes, like I said, Project OCA isn't my adult romance novel. I do have about 1,000 words written already, which I know is not that much in the grand scheme of things, but I do have the general idea of where I want the book to go. I have a lot of the characters figured out already and some of the major plot points. So the next 5 days will still very much be me in the beginning phases of drafting and working on refining the beginning of the book. I'm not going to really nitpick myself or edit very heavily. I just want to make sure I get all my thoughts on the page and get all my ideas out of my brain. I guess my general smaller goal is to write for 20 to 30 minutes every day in more of a writing sprint style way. Basically where I set a timer for 20 to 30 minutes and I just write with no interruptions. I don't really go back and edit. I just write and make sure I get all the ideas onto the page. So with all that out of the way, I think we should get started writing, and I will see you guys in the next clip. Alright, hello everyone, welcome to the first update. I just finished my first 30-minute writing sprint session. I did I wrote another 568 words, which is not bad for like 20-25 minutes. I did have to take a few minutes and write some other notes down. I'm keeping a document of some general concerns I have about the novel so far because I don't want to get too technical in some aspects, and that's like all I can really say about that. Is some of the aspects of my novel involve technical aspects, and I'm basically keeping a document where I'm saying, does this need to be this way? Can it be this technical, or can I cut some of this stuff? This is again for kind of future notes, future editing, but I wanted to have it down nonetheless. For 25 minutes, I think this was not bad. Again, the goal of this is to not be perfect off the bat, which is something I really struggle with as a perfectionist, but it's more so just to get all my ideas down on the page and see what I like. I also forgot to mention, today is Monday, March 13th, so I'm going to be doing this challenge for today and the next 4 days. I might write a little bit more today because I am already feeling a little bit out of ideas for the time being. I don't really know what I want to write next, so I think this is a good stopping point. And I'm learning that I think these shorter writing sprints are what is best for me. I just get like a bunch of ideas down right away, and then I just kind of let it sit for a little while before I come back to writing again. So I think I'm going to stop there for the time being. So I said like 568 words for 25 minutes. Not bad in the least, and I really hope I get to write a little bit later today. I do have a lot of other stuff I need to get done today. It's 10:27 a.m. right now. But I do have a long list of things to do, so I may come back to writing later tonight, but if not, I will update you guys tomorrow. Alright, hello everyone, welcome to day 2 of the writing experiment vlog. It is 8:34 in the morning on Tuesday, March 14th. I'm whispering because some people in my apartment are still sleeping, but I did want to update you guys on my plan for today because honestly, I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. I'm supposed to have one thing today later on today, and I think I'm going to cancel just because I'm feeling really like sinusy and gross and achy. But that doesn't mean I want to stop writing, because I want to keep writing and I want to make some more progress on this initial draft of the book. I have in my hands here a book called Story Genius by Lisa Crone. I actually had this book, my mom actually had this book because she's an aspiring writer too, and I reached out to my creative writing professor, the one whose class I took a few years ago. She recommended I read this book because I told her I was starting a draft of a novel, and she really highly recommended I read this book to kind of help me on my journey with that. So I think I'm going to read a little bit of this today, even though I am in the middle of another book right now. I think this is, of course, a nonfiction book that's more geared toward helping you with your writing. So I think I'm going to read this, or at least part of it today, and I will keep writing a little bit later. It's really early. I'm going to make some breakfast and take it easy for a little bit, but I will update you guys when I'm writing on later today. Today is Thursday, March 16th. I'm about to go into the grocery store to get some grocery shopping done, and I wanted to come in here and update you guys a little bit because I'm feeling already really frustrated with this challenge. And I didn't want to upload this. I wasn't even sure if I was going to film this or not because I don't like venting my frustrations out on camera. I feel like it's just not really my style to do that. I really like to stay like poised and like seem like in control of everything. But I also wanted to give you guys the behind the scenes, the real life realities of what it is looking like for me to write this novel. It's really tricky for me on the days I have work and a lot of other things to do to write consistently. So for example, yesterday I had work from 12 to 6, which is not a super long day by any means. And in the morning from 9 to 11:30, I was running errands, and I got up at 7:30 to get ready to go. And then after work, I had to pick up dinner and do other stuff. So like after like that whole part of a day, I, at the end of the day, don't want to write. I'm reading other books right now, I'm working on other projects, and I just don't always have the energy to write, but that makes doing challenges like this really tricky, because I really do want to write consistently and get a draft of this novel done. I don't know when it's going to get done. I don't have any sort of timeline quite yet. I do know I want to work on it consistently because I do believe in this idea and I do believe in myself and know I can do it, but it's just tough to find the energy some days and the motivation because it just is. When other stuff going on, it's just hard to make time and space for this. And I think that's the biggest lesson I'm learning is like I have to really take a close look at my days and how I'm spending my time, because if I really want to pursue writing and really pursue this, I have to make time for it no matter what. And I think I have to kind of, just to be very honest with myself, stop complaining. Like I looked at my phone screen time the other day because I've been watching a lot of like swapping my phone screen time for reading hours YouTube videos, and I don't have good screen time. I have like 3 to 4 hours every day, so I really need to like get on it and make sure that I'm being consistent with my writing and sticking to my word basically. That being said, I am really lucky I have the day off today, but I am working 10 to 6 tomorrow. So tomorrow's gonna be another challenge day where it's like I may have to get up at 7 o'clock and write at 8 from 8 to 9. That just might have to something I have to do if I really want to achieve this goal of writing every day. And also that being said, I think, so today I have off, so I'm going to definitely write today. I have a call later this afternoon and I have to do some music practicing later today too. But I'm definitely going to write today. I'm going to try to write tomorrow morning because I think I'm just better in the mornings. I'm much more of a morning person. And then I may extend this challenge to Saturday as well because I didn't write it all yesterday and I really want to get a consistent, like at least 3 days of writing straight in. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to go get some grocery shopping done and I will catch up with you guys later. Okay, so I'm back home right now. I just wrote a little bit more, and I'm really glad I just prioritized this today because I really did want to get some more writing done. And again, sorry I'm whispering right now. Apartment is small, a lot of people on calls right now, so I gotta keep it quiet. I'm at 1,200 words in like the second chapter of the book, basically. I've written a lot of scenes actually for things that I have planned later in the book. I'm not 100% sure if that's like how most writers do it, but that's kind of how I'm thinking about doing it right now. Is just because I have a lot of ideas. I have, again, a lot of different plot points I want to get in and get onto paper. So that is why I'm writing kind of haphazardly, I would say, at the moment, but it is with intention. So chapter 2 is about 1,200 words right now. It's about like 4 or 5 pages, and I definitely want to see if I can maybe finish that and do another writing sprint today, because I only wrote for about 10 minutes when I got home, because I actually am in the middle of watching some YouTube, which I know I just said I should watch less of. I'm also reading Jade City by Fonda Lee. I just wanted today, I know this is not a reading vlog, but I did want to talk about Jade City because it's really inspiring me to get my writing groove back on. I DNF'd this book back in October when I first picked it up, and I think if I'd stuck with it for about 30 or 40 more pages, I would have absolutely fallen in love with it. It's an urban fantasy novel, and it's just really interesting, and it's so creative and political and action-packed, and it's really motivating me to write. But also at the same time, it's like, I know my level of writing is not up to this. So it's, again, trying not to compare myself. I think that's a really big challenge I'm gonna have to do all throughout this writing process for the next year or so, or how many ever years it takes, is just make sure I don't compare myself, because I know I'm not a published author, I don't have a ton of writing training, and I'm just gonna do the best I can. With that being said, I think I'm going to read more of Jade City because I'm close to the end and I want to finish it. And then I'll probably write again later, and I will update you guys probably tomorrow or later on today, whichever one comes first. Hello everyone, and welcome to the final update of the writing vlog. I just wanted to take a few minutes to come on here to say not only thank you for watching so far into the video, but also to talk a little bit about my experience with this video and how I'm doing a few days after finishing the challenge. Overall, this challenge was definitely a lot of fun, but there were definitely some hard parts to it as well. And I just wanted to take a few minutes to share kind of like what are the biggest lessons I've taken away from this vlog, some other things I wanted to talk about in general about writing, where I'm going next, what are the next steps in my journey. I think the first thing I learned that is really important is that I have to write consistently. I don't know how it is for a lot of other potential writers who are watching, or aspiring writers who are watching this video, but I'm really learning that I have to, for myself at least, I really have to stick to it and keep writing even on the days when I really don't feel like it. I'm definitely someone who tends to avoid things when it's like, oh, I just don't feel like it, I don't have the energy, I don't have the motivation. And that mindset has been really harmful for me, especially in a lot of other areas of my life. So I'm really trying not to incorporate that into my writing, because I definitely even felt in the past week, there were days where I just didn't want to write, and then there was one day that I just didn't write. So I think the biggest thing for me is I have to be kind of not only patient with myself and give myself a little bit of grace and space for the times that I do feel unmotivated and like I feel like I don't want to write, but also that I just need to write consistently and potentially even create like a schedule for myself, and work in my optimal hours. That's the other thing I wanted to talk to you about. Is I feel like a big thing that would really help a lot of people is like really knowing when your most optimal hours of operations are. So I guess what that means is, when do you feel like in the day do you have the most energy? When do you get your most creative ideas? When do you feel just in general like you have a lot of motivation and energy and like will to do things? For me, I can speak to my own experience at least. I think it's different for every person, but for me, I'm personally such a morning and afternoon person. I'm becoming such a grandpa lately, and I'm not able to literally function after like 8:30, 9 p.m. at night. On those nights when it's like, oh, I haven't done any writing yet, and I get home from work at like 7, 8 o'clock, I literally don't have the energy. I'm just too tired to write. So my goal going forward is to definitely make sure I'm writing in my optimal hours of operation, and making sure I have time for that in my day, during those time frames in my day, to make sure I'm writing. Another general tip that might be useful, again, I'm just speaking as a very amateur writer, but I think after listening to a lot of writing podcasts and watching other writers on like the WriterTube side of YouTube, are to just write what you like. Regardless of like what the publishing industry says is popular or what this is or that, you know, I think I'm just want to write what I want to write. And I think that is the goal. It's like, write what you want to write, not because it's going to sell or because you want to get published. Of course, maybe you do have that goal one day to get published. But I think like writing, and it maybe sounds cliche, but writing what you really like and writing the stories that you really want to tell, I feel like will make the most impact because you will come across in the writing in the most impactful way. So for me, I have just been getting into science fiction and fantasy more. I just finished Jade City this morning, which I was absolutely obsessed with, but I'm not someone who's a big science fiction fantasy writer. And although, yes, I feel like that's a really hot genre right now, I feel like it just like so many good ideas and different books selling in that genre. I feel like I personally want to write romance, and I like the romance genre a lot. I have, I think, good qualifications as some writing experience. I read a lot of romance, and I feel like overall that is just the right genre for me. So in conclusion, long story short, just write what you want to write, and I think the right things will turn out because of it. And I think the last thing I want to say, which is kind of more of a general thing for maybe like a topic for another day, but I think dealing with self-doubt is really, really tough. I felt self-doubt creep up all throughout this process. I didn't vlog it as much in those moments where it's like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm never gonna get published. No one's gonna read my stories. No one's gonna like this. And I definitely have dealt with a lot of self-doubt in other areas of my life as well, especially in music. And the biggest lesson I can say that I've learned from self-doubt is that you have to push through it, like no matter what, because otherwise it will literally just cripple you. And it has crippled me in the past. I've definitely had some performances where I was so nervous and so unsure of my abilities, and even afterwards, if people even told me if I had done well, I would have been like, that was terrible, I didn't perform well. I think self-doubt is something that you just have to be really, really aware of. And again, maybe it sounds cliche, but really kind to yourself about and give yourself that space. But you absolutely cannot let it stop you from pursuing what you are passionate about. And I think the other acceptance part of self-doubt is that it might always be there. It's like I think there's maybe no one cure-all for like fixing self-doubt. I think even the most proficient writers like Colleen Hoover, Emily Henry, Casey McQuiston probably all deal with self-doubt at some point, and it probably sneaks up on them when they're not expecting it. So just be patient with yourself, give yourself that space to be like, I'm feeling this right now, I'm gonna write in spite of it. But with that kind of spiel out of the way, I just want to say again, thank you guys so much for checking out this video. It was such a fun time doing this video and editing it and seeing the process over the week. Please let me know in the comments down below if you have any advice as a writer, if you just have any advice in general, or just want to leave a comment about the video. I hope to be bringing you more content your way very soon, but life is life, and I will do the best I can to try to upload on a regular schedule, but please be patient with me. Don't forget to hit the like button, consider subscribing to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!